Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
The bottom-up economic transformation agenda is not just a plan on paper.
Manifesto tulioandika na tukauzia Wakenya na wakatupigia kura, sio gazeti ya kufunga nyama.
It is happening on the ground across Kenya.
Enda subabogi Moriega Jadurwa untie Mugani Pamjambo.
In agriculture,
Turkana wameamkia mambo ya ukulima sasa.
On our roads,
Lami black anaingia hapa anagausha hapa, wacha bana.
In health,
all our patients are in SHA 100%.
In housing,
kutoka nyumba za mabati kuleta nyumba kama hii ya ghorofa ni kitu mzuri sana.
In our markets,
umetukumbuka sisi mama mboga, shida zetu umezitatua,
and so much more.
It's a good thing the government inakuja mashinani na this is all what we have been requesting.
This is transformation. This is impact. This is delivering the plan. Every Friday on KBC Channel 1.
My name is Professor Victoria Wamboingomi, the Vice-Chancellor J.K. UAT, and it is my great honor to welcome you to the joint graduation ceremony of J.K. UAT and PAUSTI. To all our students, as you step forward, do so with confidence, integrity, and a commitment to creating sustainable change. Congratulations to the class of 2025. We are immensely proud of you.
Nyamira governor has survived a third attempt to impeach him as governor of Nyamira, and this is after Senate Speaker Amason Kingi determined that the county assembly failed to meet the threshold to impeach the governor. That and plenty more, including business and sports, is shaping this live broadcast tonight. This is Prime Edition. Before we inform you the day's highlights. Eyes on the Senate as embattled Nyamira County Governor Amos Nyaribo fights to overturn his impeachment. Declare drought a national disaster. Leaders urge the government as the devastating effects of failed rains are beginning to be felt in parts of the northeastern region. will save the beast of burden. Kenya loses 30% of its donkeys annually due to illegal slaughter and sale of the meat. Many thanks for choosing KBC Channel 1 to inform you this Wednesday night. I'm Doreen. Lensa Odingo is our sign language interpreter. And we begin with what just happened at the Senate, where Senate has quashed the impeachment motion against embattled Nyamira Governor Amos Nyaribo on grounds that the threshold for the impeachment was not met. During the first day of the hearing plenary, objections were raised by Governor's legal team, arguing that the threshold ought to have been 24, contrary to the 23 that the MCAs attained. The move prompting the Senate to ventilate on the matter that led to a vote on motion to uphold the plenary objections. 38 senators against 4 voted in favor of the governor, hence terminating the impeachment process.
Now, honorable senators, I will now proceed to put the question. That aware that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act 2012, on Tuesday, 25th of November 2025, the County Assembly of Nyamira approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwoni Nyaribo, the Governor of Nyamira County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to uphold the preliminary objection that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 62 of the County Assembly of Nyamira was not met, and forthwith terminates the hearing on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwoni Nyaribo, the Governor of Nyamira County. Now you may log in back and proceed to vote.
And that is how the vote looked like at the Senate earlier today. Moving on, a section of MPs from the northeastern region now want the president to declare the ongoing drought a national disaster to prompt enhanced efforts to save starving lives and livestock. The lawmakers who addressed the press at the parliament said at least 2.1 million Kenyans are facing food insecurity. The lawmakers also want the government to revisit livestock-oriented policies, including an immediate off-take program to salvage the livelihoods of the pastoralists.
The rising temperatures coupled with delayed rainfall are threatening the livelihoods of 2.1 million Kenyans living in northeastern region. The National Disaster Management Authority has already issued alert highlighting deteriorating situation characterized by livestock losses and resurgence of intercommunity conflicts over the scarce resources.
Ile mbuzi alikuwa mezwa ine alikuwa ni 16,000, saa hii ni 300, 400. Ile taksi itakuchukua hiyo mbuzi anachukua 200. Sasa itabakisha nini?
Tunataka wafikishe haraka chakula ya binadamu, chakula ya mali.
The political leadership from northeastern region now wants the president to declare the drought a national disaster so that to pave way for enhanced humanitarian aid from donors.
The onus is on the national government, but it's also on the county governments who have a front row seat to the suffering the people are going through right now, yet are doing nothing.
If the livelihood is gone, then the next in queue is the lives of the people, because these lives depend on those livestock as part of their livelihoods.
Further, the MPs want the government to roll out an immediate off-take program for starving livestock, even as it upscales distribution of emergency food and pasture.
With climate change, after every 2 years, we have a drought. So it was something expected. And any serious government must apportion funds and plan adequately and protect lives and livelihoods of pastoralists.
So we also want an immediate off-take program to feed the people and to salvage the farmers or the owners of the livestock.
The Kenya Meteorological Department projects the dry spell will continue until the end of February. Gishoke Washira, Prime Edition.
And as the world marked the World Disability Day, Kenya Institute of Special Education KISE has renewed calls for stronger investment in assistive devices, early screening and increased public awareness on disabilities. Speaking on Wednesday during an event to mark the International Day of Persons with Disability, KISE Director Dr. Norman Kiogora further highlighted the need for the country to address rising cases of autism, the growing demand for assessment services, and the progress in implementing disability inclusion laws.
Hundreds of parents, children and development partners converged at the Kenya Institute of Special Education KISE Wednesday to deliberate on concerns and solutions for a more inclusive society.
Niko na mtoto mlemavu anaitwa David Kimani na tumefurahia, wamecheza, wametibiwa mahali tulikuwa na shida, wamefanyiwa assessment.
There's no country doing as well as this country when it comes to inclusion. And one game changer in Disability Act. It has transformed the thinking in special needs.
Top among the concerns was the urgent need for more assistive devices in the country, especially hearing aids and mobility devices for persons with disabilities. KISE Director Dr. Norman Kiogora noted that phones, laptops, hearing aids and even vehicles should be customized to meet disability needs.
Today, you might somebody who is deaf. You may not require even an interpreter. That person that is able to communicate without an interpreter with him.
The cost of the devices too is very high, and over time we have to have a conversation on how we can bring down the cost of whether it's the wheelchairs, whether it's the hearing aids, the prosthetics.
Stakeholders also noted a positive shift in parental attitudes, with more families embracing their children's disabilities and seeking help. They, however, warned that many parents across the country still lack information on assessment services, care options, and government support.
We are also talking to the government to reopen the assessment centers, which are mostly placed in schools for special needs. And when they are there, the parents know we can go to this particular place.
At the same time, Dr. Kiogora highlighted the rising number of autism cases both in Kenya and globally, stating that although data on the condition keeps changing, the burden is growing and more research, workforce and specialized therapies are needed.
We are doing a research to find out what is causing this particular disability. It's on rise, and we want to find out what are the causes, and we can be able to give information to the public once the research is done.
Joseph Ohungu for Prime Edition.
Still on that beat, champions for disability rights in Isiolo County are stepping up efforts to push for proper data collection and greater public awareness among women and girls living with disability to ensure adequate inclusion. Their call comes as women and girls living with disabilities continue to face obstacles from persistent language barriers in health facilities to inaccurate or missing data on persons with disabilities. The advocates say the challenges become more severe, especially when they seek critical services such as reproductive health care, especially for those who remain unregistered and unable to access essential support. During a sensitization forum for women and girls with disabilities in Isiolo County, long-standing concerns resurfaced.
Kwa sababu ya kutokuwa na hiyo data za walemavu tumepata changamoto mingi. Hiyo ni gani? Mambo na allocation of the resource.
For the deaf community, the challenge is even greater.
The other things we have, these challenges of sign language interpreters in our Isiolo County Teaching and Referral Hospital. But if we train, she can talk with the management so that the sign language interpreter will be in place.
It is against this backdrop that Champions for Disability Rights in Isiolo County embarked on a training program to assist women navigate these challenges. Dharma Kosi, 35-year-old mother of 4, is one such beneficiary of the training sessions.
I come from the deaf community. I go to hospital as a mother with a disability. Sometimes I'm left there in that long queue.
Disability champions are calling for greater inclusion and urging women with disabilities to speak out against discrimination. They hope for a more inclusive healthcare system where all women and girls can access the services they need remains. The High Court has ordered the Inspector General of Police and Director of Criminal Investigations, Boss Mohamed Amin, to appear physically in court on December 16th, 2025 to explain the whereabouts of security expert Mwenda Mbijiwe, who went missing in 2021. Family lawyer Evans Ondieki informed Judge Martin Muya that the state has failed to offer any meaningful update on investigations into Mbijiwe's disappearance. However, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions informed the court that the prosecution intends to forward the investigation file to a magistrate's court to initiate an inquest. Details in the Scales of Justice segment.
The missing security expert Mwenda Mbijiwe disappeared 4 years ago without a trace. Appearing before the court, family lawyer Evans Ondieki told the judge that Mbijiwe was arrested by police officers along Resambo Road in June 2021 while en route to Meru and has never been seen again. In an affidavit, Mbijiwe's mother, Jane Gatwiri, stated that her son is being held incommunicado by the state and her visit to numerous government offices have yielded no results. The court also heard that at the time of disappearance, Mbijiwe had declared an interest in contesting for the Meru gubernatorial seat. Justice Muya has ordered the matter to be heard on December 16th, when the IG and the DCI boards are expected to provide an update on the status.
So we want to know who killed Mbijiwe and why. Because they want to start an inquest. They cannot start an inquest unless they are aware he's not alive.
They're trying to twist things, but I want to tell them, if after they killed my son, God in heaven is watching with them. They are going to pay it very soon, in Jesus' name.
And on Wednesday, the Mombasa High Court witnessed attend session as a key state witness in the Shakahola case, challenge a report presented by the Director of Public Prosecutions. Appearing virtually before Lady Justice Diana Kavetsa, Anthony Wycliffe, whose wife and 5 children were members of the Mackenzie's church, denied claims in the DPP report that one of his children had died.
It's possible to tell.
So as we speak, God has told you that your children are alive and you believe what God is telling you.
He said he has been in touch with his wife, who is currently at Shimolatewa, and confirmed that their children were safe and in custody. The court had earlier been presented with a post-mortem report of the purportedly deceased child.
I was trying to explain that the post-mortem has not been endorsed. What we have been doing with these witnesses who don't know post-mortems, we have just been reading the endorsement to hear the name, for them to hear the name and confirm whether that name is the name of the deceased.
For recalling the witness, and they have just affirmed what the defense has indicated, that they have nothing to refer to. So whatever the witness said still stands as his testimony.
Justice Mochache ultimately quashed the postmortem report, ruling that it could not be admitted as evidence. Elsewhere, the murder trial of Hassan Dangane, accused of killing 4 women in October 2024, proceeded before Justice Margaret Muigai, where DCI forensic digital expert Corporal Lawrence Kamau walked the court through CCTV footage from Eastleigh, Athi River, Parklands and Lavington, showing the victims' last movements in a recurring grey vehicle linked across all scenes. Dangane, who denied the charges during plea taking, is alleged to have lured the women before they met their deaths. The hearing will continue on 26 March 2026.
As per the proceedings, you're not getting it right.
And Chief Magistrate Delphina Alego has challenged the Law Society of Kenya leadership over what she termed as the body selective defense of advocates, while allegedly neglecting judges and magistrates who are also members of the society.
I speak because I've also been a victim, and I know because I'm huge in mentoring, I hear what some of my colleagues say about when they are bullied, and it is just not right. The same dignity that you're asking for LSK members is the same dignity we are also asking as judicial officers and judges.
Alego questioned why the society aggressively intervenes to protect lawyers, but rarely comes to the aid of judicial officers when they are attacked or intimidated.
I totally associate myself with the bench that we are not appearing before these citizens in good image. We are very passionate when defending her, but we are not very passionate when we are attacking the judicial officers.
The remarks arose during proceedings in which the LSK leadership had come to court to oppose the application by the Director of Criminal Investigations against Advocate Galene McKenna, who is under investigation over alleged land fraud. Litua Debra for Prime Edition.
To some politics now, and Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua has extended an olive branch to Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna and Embakasi East MP Babu Owino, promising to back their campaigns in the run-up to the 2027 general elections. The former DP, who insists his party, DCP, will field candidates in all elective positions in 2027, denied claims that he is advancing tribal politics.
Speaking after receiving the newly elected MCAs in the November by-elections, Douglas Masikonde of Narok Town, Narok County, Aduda Okwiri of Kisa is in Kakamega County, and David Wanyoki of Kariobangi North in Nairobi, DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua said his opponents were spreading propaganda to paint him as a tribal leader and discredit his party.
We'll sit down and say where DCP is strong and requires Wiper support, Wiper will support us. Where Wiper is strong and requires DCP support, DCP will support. That is the arrangement. But you see, they want to create a narrative, oh, DCP wants to dominate Wiper. Nonsense. And you know, people are trying to think that they can get Kalonzo away from the united opposition. You are daydreamers.
Unexpectedly, Gachagua vowed to back the re-election of Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna and Embakasi East lawmaker Babu Owino as he urged them to join the opposition parties.
Sifuna akuje asikuje. Sifuna is a great senator in Nairobi. And I have no problem with the DCP supporting Sifuna to be the senator of Nairobi. We have no problem. And if you feel uncomfortable in DCP, Babu and Sifuna, come to Wiper, our partner. No problem.
Elsewhere, Chewani Ward MCA-elect Sophia Maro has been sworn in at the Tana River County Assembly after winning the by-election held on 27 November 2025. She promised to prioritize education and health sectors to improve the lives of Chewani residents.
Basari tutaigawanya kwa uhaki na usawa kwa kila mtu bila upendeleo wa dini, kabila ama rangi, na mambo ambayo wananchi wanatarajia kutoka kwangu kama mambo ya health.
Meanwhile, youth in Homa Bay County have called on leaders from the region to resolve their differences and work together for the development of the area.
So I would like to beseech His Excellency Your Excellency Gladys Wanga and Principal Secretary for the Interior and Coordination, that is Mr. Raymond Omolo, that you come out and you people, you sit as leaders, you give us a good trajectory of which we can see the results. And Kenyans are out here and they'll choose the person who performs. That is the person they'll be casting their votes towards him.
Give us Minor Prime Edition.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, due for our fast break. We'll circle back with more, including business and sports. Stay with us.
This is not the end of the world. You have an entire life ahead of you.
Yes, Mom, but I don't see how.
Is this why you asked me to come all the way here? I mean, to be face to face with a man I don't want to see, a man who obviously doesn't want to see me either?
I was just trying to help you.
I don't need anything from you.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
Disemba imefika na Ingo FM inawasha burdan kwa nguvu tukisherekea miaka 13 ya kuwepo. Bungoma, mpo tayari? Tarehe 5 na 7 Disemba tunawaletea kifurushi maalum cha kusherekea miaka 13, miaka za muziki bora, hadithi zenye uzito na kumbukumbu tamu tulizounda pamoja na wasikilizaji wetu. Siku ya tarehe 5 Disemba tutaanza sherehe kwa upandaji miti katika shule ya St. Teresa Special huko Webuye. Kisha baadaye tutatembelea watoto katika shule hiyo ya St. Teresa kuwapatia zawadi pamoja na kukata keki ya anniversary. Jioni kutakuwa na burdan kubwa katika Olukulu Resort, yani Ingo Night kule Matulo Webuye. Kutakuwa na upete wa Musungu, Bungoma Band na wasanii mahiri kutoka Uluyani pamoja na watangazaji wako wa Ingo FM kwa burdan tosha na vibes kali. Tarehe 7 Disemba tutaendeleza shukrani zetu kupitia ibada ya kanisani katika Misiku PAG Church. Mwambie rafiki na endelea kusikiliza kwa sababu Disemba hii Ingo FM ni kituo chako cha sherehe na furaha. Ingo FM, miaka 13 ya burdan halisi.
The losers have to pay.
Who plays well?
Sign up.
I can't play this.
I can't either.
I can't. Be precise in all matters. No need to be upset. We'll get the money back. It's just a couple of months. You were bluffing everyone, saying you're the king. But in the end, you just cheated, right?
Look at this.
But I think it would be enough for Khalif to do a liver function test, ultrasound, and a 3-major routine test.
Still want him to do all of these tests.
Welcome back. Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Baraza is calling on investors in the timber industry to contribute to the 15 billion tree growing national campaigns. Dr. Baraza, who held a consultative meeting with the Timber Manufacturers Association and sawmillers, said stakeholders should ensure the sustainability of the timber industry as it draws raw materials directly from state forests. She further noted that the process of harvesting mature and over-mature plantations remain above board and integrity in allocation will be observed as per government regulations.
We are happy because they are all on board in order to support us in the 15 billion tree growing, either in adopting a forest block to ensure that they are growing the trees, either in ecosystem restoration, various ecological zones within the country, or any environment, be it the school, region, etc., to ensure that we are really moving towards the 15 billion.
The presidential announcement in Nakuru basically provided for us for licensees to have more access to forest material from our forests, because it was actually realized that some of the sawmills were actually idle, and the idle sawmills means idle labor.
We are going to support the initiative because this is the line that we are in our businesses. It is our lifeline, and today all of us have agreed that we are going to support the president's agenda.
Police in Kasarani, Nairobi County are investigating an incident in Kahawa West where a gang reportedly killed a watchman at a liquor store and raided goods valued at 2.5 million shillings. The robbery is said to have occurred at around 4 a.m. when the criminals destroyed CCTV cameras before stealing. This and more stories in our county news roundup.
According to Nicholas Mwongera, the owner of the raided liquor store, he received a call around 7 a.m. from the neighbors informing him of the incident, and he immediately reported the matter at Kahawa West Police Station. Residents have decried increasing cases of insecurity, mostly attributed to a 3-week power blackout, and urged the government to act swiftly.
The matter is still under investigation. We don't know, but they have really shocked us by killing our security. That was the most saddest news nimesikia. Fadhali wangebeba kila kitu, but kuua huyo alikuwa Masai. He was range of 40 hapo. And I think he has even a family. Eh?
Mambo imekuwa ya wizi, watu kuawa, barabara, majali na watu kufanywa kiunyama. Hii si kitu ya kwanza kufanywa hii, ilianza kutoka kitambo sana.
Meanwhile, authorities in the National Council for Persons with Disabilities in Kilifi County say they have registered over 3,000 PWDs as of 2024. Job Monyoncho, a project officer from the council, attributed the rise to the government's e-citizen program alongside sensitization initiatives led by the county government in partnership with stakeholders.
Tuendelee kuhamasishana tukirudi manyumbani, kuhamasishana kuhusu haya mambo ya uatilifu na tuweze kujua kuwa uatilifu na unaweza fanyika wakati wowote. Unaweza pata hiyo hali kabla ya kuzaliwa, unaweza pata hiyo hali ukizaliwa na pia unaweza pata hiyo hali baada ya kuzaliwa.
Zungumzia kama mwaka wa fedha uliopita, Kilifi County tumeweza kuandikisha takriban watu wenye ulemavu 3,025 ambapo wameweza kupata vyeti vya e-citizen, na vyeti hivi ambavyo ni vyeti vya ulemavu vinaweza kumtambua mtu mwenye ulemavu kwa kusudi la kuweza kupata huduma.
Michael Mondiga for Prime Edition.
On our weekly feature cinemas and theatres, tonight we center the focus on the series Whispers of Hope that follows 80-year-old Amina as she rebuilds her life after a tragic loss of her parents. Forced into the harsh care of a cruel step-family, Amina's journey is one of resilience, friendship, and the quiet wisdom of village elders who help her rediscover her strength. Take a look.
Let me pass. This is mine.
Amina, so you are an orphan?
The series Whispers of Hope follows Amina's world as it collapses after her parents die in a road accident.
Sleeping in my house. Amina, there was 2 in the morning. Wake up.
Orphaned and placed under the care of a cruel stepfather and wicked stepmother, Amina's life becomes a daily battle for survival.
I'm tired.
However, her unwavering spirit forms the heart of the story as she forges friendships with village children and learns from the wisdom of elders who guide her towards reclaiming her identity.
Some of the themes we are trying to talk about and we are trying to teach the world and the globe is about love, unity in the society, and is about fighting to help the orphans.
According to Stephen Ogola, the film producer, the series Whispers of Hope was inspired by his own life journey. Ogola was orphaned at a young age and chose to channel those memories into storytelling, but decided to make the main character, a young girl, to broaden the emotional lens and highlight the unique challenges faced by girls in vulnerable situations.
It's my story, but I'm a man. But I came with the idea doing a story for a lady. So for a lady, it picks very fast than men, because men tumewachwa nje kidogo than women. So women wamewekwa ile special.
You are right. Do you know farming can give us income?
Ogola, who has also produced several feature films, admits he personally prefers film production over series work. He notes that producing a series comes with unique challenges.
So unapata kwamba leo your farm shoots scene 1, 2, 3. Even up to 5. Then mutajam, muende kushoot scene 20, 21, 22, 25. Because hao watu wenye walikuwa wafaa wa play from scene 1 to scene 5, one of them hayuko. So kudeal na series ni hectic because you deal with so many characters.
And I hope you know how to work. Because we don't.
Jacqueline Mashara for Cinemas and Theatre.
Time for us to look at the latest reports in business, and there is need for deliberate action to ensure persons with disabilities benefit equally from modern, affordable and sustainable energy solutions. Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation Chief Rose Mkalama says inclusive development is impossible without inclusive energy access, urging stronger adoption of disability-responsive measures across all energy programs.
Kenya has intensified efforts to expand access to electricity and clean energy, particularly in rural and underserved areas. These efforts align with the Vision 2030 blueprint and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which identify energy as a cornerstone for social and economic growth. However, despite progress in connectivity and renewable energy uptake, persons with disabilities continue to face unique barriers, among them limited participation in energy planning and decision-making, a gap REREC says must be urgently addressed to secure a just and inclusive energy transition.
The lack of reliable power can directly impact on your health, on your outcomes in terms of education, opportunities, employment, and other economic independences. A person using an electric wheelchair, for example, or vital life-supporting medical equipment needs assurance from REREC, needs assurance from government that the grid is reliable and that it is going to serve them.
The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum recognizes that the access to clean, modern and affordable energy is a human right and a pathway to dignity, opportunity and empowerment. That's the theme of this day, which reminds us that inclusion is not charity, but it is justice to everyone.
It needs a broad approach, not one person looking at it, but really to mainstream it, to have inclusion in all parts of our lives, of your lives, so that there are no barriers.
In an event to commemorate the International Day of Persons with Disabilities at the Jamhuri Energy Center in Nairobi, the corporation launched a clean cooking initiative targeting households of persons with disabilities, distributing electric pressure cookers and improved cook stoves designed to offer safer, easier and healthier cooking options.
We want to provide safer cooking environments that are more manageable to you, they are more accessible to you, so that you can be able then to reduce the household burdens and the health risk.
Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
The youth still struggle with limited access to resources, inadequate skills and insufficient access to markets and infrastructure. Ministry of Agriculture Deputy Director Peter Orangi says players, especially in the food system, should empower the youth in the country and the region is to succeed in ending hunger through the improvement of food security.
According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, the youth aged 15 to 35 years constitute a significant portion of the East African region. However, these youth continue to face high unemployment rates of 51 to 57%. To unlock and seize the potential of the youth unemployment scourge, experts are pointing to opportunities in agriculture value chains, such as in agriculture food systems.
Today's youth are not just beneficiaries. They are not beneficiaries of change, but they are innovators, entrepreneurs, job creators, and drivers of climate food systems. So our task, actually, as we deliberate, is to enable them to scale, to connect, and thrive.
Speaking during the official opening of the East African Youth in Agri-Food Systems Expo 2025 in Nairobi, players noted that the youth have the answer to achieving food sufficiency through regional cooperation on aspects like agricultural input policies, infrastructure development, and trade facilitation to boost productivity, improving access, and ensuring stability in food availability.
Being intentional on harvesting and harnessing the critical elements that attract youth in the agribusiness. We've studied literature and whatever we see in the public space, the issues of access to land, the access to agricultural finance, and you'll be hearing about this more. I think those are very critical. They have to be embedded within the policies, the strategies, but also the engagements like this as platforms, be able to cultivate the mindset that we all need.
So far, focus has been shifting on engaging and empowering EAC youth in agribusiness through strategies like the Youth in Agribusiness Strategy of 2022 to 2026 and the EAC Food and Nutrition Security Strategy and Action Plan of 2018 to 2022, with efforts being made to improve access to finance for youth and women-led businesses.
If you look at the opportunity that exists on the continent for young people in the agri-food system space, it's so huge. And therefore, a space like this is contributing the size of your vision, and we don't shy away from it. The numbers are significantly big enough, or even small enough, to really make sure that the change can only happen through the youth.
Alan Aoko, Prime Edition.
Is Kenya facing a donkey-less future? The answer is yes. If current trends continue, the population of donkeys in Kenya continue to drop on account of illegal trade in donkey meat and skins in China and changing climatic conditions. Solomon Onyango, Country Director, Donkeys Sanctuary Kenya, says plans are underway to create policies that will institute stiffer penalties for unlicensed donkey trade.
According to statistics from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, in 2019, the donkey population in Kenya was recorded at 1.2 million from 1.8 million donkeys in 2009, representing a 50% drop in a decade. The population decline is due to demand for skin in the Chinese market after the Far East nation banned the slaughter of its donkeys.
Yet there are so many laws in this country that are able to enforce that, because even the penal code, you find that we are told that if you steal an animal with an intention of selling the skin and the hide, then you are liable, and that criminality should be able to be enforced.
Animal experts say there is need for heightened surveillance in parts of eastern and central Kenya, where the illegal donkey trade is on the increase.
Some of the achievements that we have had on the welfare of donkeys, one is that the other day we were having a rapid response initiative, which we were actually concentrating more on the enforcement of the laws, because at that particular time, the donkeys were being subjected to inhumane acts.
Solomon Onyango, the country director, Donkey Sanctuary Kenya, says Kenya is also a conduit for illegal donkey skin from regional countries due to weak laws.
The challenges we have noted, some of them is either the donkeys are lacking veterinary care because either the professional service providers do not know how to handle the donkey, or they are not there. So we want to see how this one can be.
Animal welfare groups are planning to leverage on the proposed animal bill to press for tougher penalties for illegal donkey trade. The African Union has already imposed a continent-wide 15-year ban on the commercial slaughter of donkeys for their skins.
Biodiversity Alliance will partner with the private sector to scale up the circular economy in the production of biofertilizer. Soil fertility expert at Alliance Biodiversity, Boaz Waswa, says the project will entail collecting waste from urban areas to manufacture organic fertilizer in a bid to treat the acidic soils in the country's breadbasket regions. Over 70% of the country's soil are acidic due to frequent use of synthetic chemicals in food production. Farmers are being encouraged to treat their soils through the use of lime and planting crops that can fix nitrogen into the soil. Alliance Biodiversity is now planning to increase production of biofertilizer as a substitute for the synthetic fertilizer, which are costly and further degrade the soil. The organization says it will partner with the private sector to start the collection of waste food and other waste in urban areas for biomanufacturing production.
Manure and all these organic resources on the farms is a big resource that farmers sometimes ignore. It is the basic source of nutrients, and also organic manure helps to hold soils for longer. And so we encourage that farmers be able to recycle any materials that is on the farm that is decomposable to be able to supply organic fertilizers to their farms. But also we are working with the private sector to get organic fertilizers maybe from the urban waste and recycling it, composting it, and then using it back on the farms.
The urban populations are growing, not just in Nairobi, but devolution has created urban centers all across the country. How are we going to be thinking about making sure those urban populations have access to affordable, nutritious food at the same time that our farmers are able to make a livelihood with what they are growing?
Managing well the biodiversity and the soil, you reduce the use of damaging chemicals, damaging for our health, for the health of our children, and so you have safer products and safer food in your plates, and also more nutritious, and then you will have a better life.
We find a lot of food is wasted, like is lost already from the farm level, post-production, all the way to the consumer. And yet many of the consumers in our African continent are suffering because they don't have enough food to eat. So there are a number of innovations we've been working on. One, a very easy one, is about linking the markets. We do a lot of training with consumers about wasting the food, because many times you find consumers serve themselves actually on their plate, but then they don't finish the food they have on the plate. They throw it away. That's food waste.
When the hills gave way in Marakwet, thousands were left with nothing. But together, we can help them rise again. Join KBC in the Restore Hope, Restore Earth campaign, Unity in Adversity. Together for Marakwet. Donate through paybill number 522533, account number 8036543, or drop foodstuffs and supplies at Marakwet County offices. Every shilling, every tree, every act of kindness counts. KBC, bringing Kenyans together.
Kila mwisho wa juma kwenye runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1.
Tunakuletea Mkulima.
Ni kipindi cha kila mtu.
Iwe wewe ni mkulima mdogo, mkulima mkubwa, muuzaji au mnunuzi,
au yeyote anayenuia kuanzisha kilimo ama ufugaji.
Tunaanza kwa mbinu bora na za kisasa za kilimo, ufugaji,
fursa za kibiashara, kuongeza thamani, pamoja na teknolojia za kuboresha kilimo.
Ni chakula ambao kwetu sisi inatuletea mapato mazuri, watoto wanasoma vizuri. Mkulima kisasa inakupa maarifa,
motisha na suluhu za kurahisisha mazao,
kuongeza kipato na kulisha taifa kwa ujumla.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30,
ambapo kilimo na fursa zinapatikana.
Mkulima, tuko hapa kwa ajili yako.
Smallholder farmers expect new business opportunities in the seed market after the High Court declared key sections of the Seed and Plant Varieties Act unconstitutional. The ruling by Justice Rhoda Ruto removed strict penalties that criminalized the use of uncertified seeds and scrapped off high registration fees of 75,000 and 10,000 shillings annually that farmers say locked them out of commercial seed production. Advocates believe the move will widen participation in Kenya's multi-billion shilling agricultural sector and support markets for indigenous, climate-resilient crops.
Uko na varieties 119 za mbegu. Zile za kitambo sisi tunaekaga tu. Ndio maana hata walipeleka hiyo kesi na tunashukuru Mungu imepita. Sasa tutauza.
Sisi wasengwer kutangu samani tulikuwa tukitumia chakula ama mboka za kienyeji, na chakula yetu sana sana ilikuwa ni hii chepolos, na nimeona ya kwamba kumbe sisi tumepoteza chakula ambaye sisi tulilelewa naye.
Wamama ya kila vijiji ama kila village ya hapa Sengwer kutoka Kapkongoro mpaka Segerger, mwende mjifundishe mambo ya kuhifadhi hiyo mbegu jinsi imesemwa, na tuweze kuchunga vitu zetu za kitamaduni ili iweze kutustamili, yani kutuweka.
Inafurahisha sana kwamba tulichukua fursa kama hii kujikumbusha sisi ni nani na kuona kwamba tunafaa kurudi penye inafaa, penye mababu zetu na nyanya zetu waliku.
Farmers have been tipped on organic farming to reduce production costs and conserve the environment. Food Alliance Congo Basin Coordinator Josephine Atagana says agroecology is key in reducing the use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides that are also harmful to the soils and environment. The government has also been urged to create adequate policies that will support agroecology, especially practices that will enlist women into conservation agriculture to boost nutrition.
Women, those who are practicing agriculture, they are the ones who are producing food in the value chain. They are producing a lot, but they lack land control. That makes them very unfavorable to choose types of practices, also the control of finance and the fund that they shall have access to improve in agriculture.
One of the things we do in agroecology is paying attention not just to the farming process but also to the environment, bearing in mind that soil is the lifebone of agriculture. So we are paying attention to the environment. We are making sure that all the processes that are being used is favorable to the environment. We're making sure that there's minimal land degradation. We're making sure that the land is sustainable and we can continue to go back to the land, go back to the soil.
And we are testing the different kinds of technologies that farmers are adopting for agroecology. That includes the kind of technologies that improve soil fertility, the kind of technologies that help in terms of processing and prolonging the shelf life of food, and the technologies that are being used in terms of sort of accessing markets, so innovations around market systems.
Women form 70% of the agriculture labor. They are there, but the benefits, the policies, they are not speaking to women. They are not amplifying their voices. They are not addressing their interests. And also, women are in those spaces, but they are not in charge. So what we are here to do, what we are doing, is to amplify their voices, is to build their capacity so that they can be able to transform food system, they can be able to mentor other people, and women are custodian of knowledge. They provide food for their families.
Sin and Cabinet Secretary for Sports Salim Vuria has urged African nations to unite in strengthening the continent's anti-doping systems as preparations intensify for the implementation of the revised 2027 World Anti-Doping Code. Speaking at the World Anti-Doping Conference in Sports in Busan, South Korea, CS Mvuria called on African states to match their growing global sporting influence with enhanced institutional readiness and stronger anti-doping frameworks. CS Mvuria also held high-level engagements with WADA Director General Olivia Ngili and WADA Africa Director Rodney Swigler, reaffirming Kenya's unwavering commitment to fulfilling all corrective actions of the WADA list, in line with the directive of President William Ruto, who has emphasized the significance of clean sport as a national development priority. Kenya's hockey quest for a place at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games has received a major boost after the National Olympic Committee of Kenya today unveiled an International Olympic Committee scholarship for the women's national hockey team. The women's hockey team is expected to begin an intensified training program as they turn their focus to the upcoming Olympic qualification pathway.
The support follows the team's impressive performance at the recently concluded Women's Hockey Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt, where they secured a third-place finish, earning them a rise in continental rankings and renewed optimism ahead of the future qualifiers. Speaking during the presentations, NOC President Shedrack Maluki announced that the team has been awarded $50,000 under the Olympic Solidarity Program.
The hockey has performed pretty well. The girls' hockey team has been doing very well, and the fact that they are preparing to qualify for the LA Olympics, which is also National Olympic Committee of Kenya, we need to beef them up. We need to support them on their pathway to qualification.
He said the funding will be used to enhance the team's training, preparation, and international exposure as they build towards the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games.
The previous tournaments have been more of self-sponsored. The union has been the one who has been sponsoring us. But as of now, with this scholarship, we have been able now to get opportunity to showcase what we have.
Maluki underscored the importance of elevating women's team sports in the country, stressing Kenya's commitment to clean sport and the need for continued growth, discipline and strong performance.
We want to use this opportunity to sharpen our skills, sharpen our focus and up our ante in terms of our KPIs.
For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
The Kenyan youth team has settled into camp and stepped up preparations for the Africa Youth Games scheduled for the 10th to 20th of December in Angola. The training camps are spread across Nairobi, Mombasa and Eldoret, where teams are fine-tuning their preparations before departure.
After months of individual training that began on August, the National Youth Squad is now in full residential camp, sharpening skills and boosting fitness levels.
Tuliingia jana camp na tumeanza kutrain leo juu ya maths. Matarajio yetu ni vile tunaendelea kutrain, we hope for better results.
Coaches say that the focus this week is on coordination, conditioning and the final tactical adjustment as the game draws nearer.
So far zoezi imekuwa fit, vijana wana respond kwa zoezi vizuri na yes tunakaza. Hapa kuna mambo mingi, mambo ni kukaza.
Team tumeingia jana jioni, tumeingia vizuri, tumekaribisha vizuri. Pia maandalizi tumeandalia vizuri. Tuko tayari at least kuendelea na mazoezi na tuko hope kwamba tutapata medali kule Angola.
Team Kenya will send a strong contingent of 83 athletes set to compete in 17 disciplines including athletics, swimming, ball games and combat sport.
Nachezea Eat Squad Kenya team. Zoezi imekuwa poa. Na matumaini tukienda Angola tarudi na goal. Hiyo line lazima.
Officials report high morale in camp, with many athletes expressing confidence that they will deliver standout performances on the continental stage. The training camps are spread across Nairobi, Mombasa and Eldoret, where teams are fine-tuning their routines before departure.
The camp has been really good. It's the first day, so I'm expecting a lot to learn, of course, to see what I can do better for the team, to be better on myself, and see what I can push on forward with, not just now, but for the future.
The final squad is expected to jet out of the country this weekend, giving them ample time to settle in Angola ahead of the opening ceremony. With just days to go, Team Kenya says it is ready to fly the national flag high and bring home medals. For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Erling Haaland became the quickest player to reach 100 goals in Premier League history after scoring for Manchester City in their 5-4 win over Fulham last night. Phil Foden also scored twice in City's victory. On the other hand, Jack Grealish scored a late winner for Everton, giving them a 1-0. And that's all the time we had for you tonight. This has been KBC Prime Edition. I'm Doreen. Arange Lensa Odingo has been our sign language interpreter. Good night.
For charity, dial *419 hash.
Nakuona. Kuja hivi sasa. Buddha, siku umedial *419 hash. Chika. Yani haujui kwa option 3 kuna Probox. Probox. Usisahau kwa *419 hash. Option 3 iko Probox ya bahati. Na ikikuangukia, ufunguo utakufikia mahali popote ulipo. Usisahau.